Alright, this is Lorenzone for Draconia Network, and we are here with the lead singer and the mind behind one of the most notorious and important projects in the folk metal scene. The band is Eluveitie, and we are here with Chriegel Glanzmann. How are you, guy?
Pretty much okay. Thank you.
Alright, we are here in Bologna to headline the Paganfest tour. So tell us how's this tour going?
Well, very good so far, but it basically just started. I mean, this is only the fifth show or something, so I actually cannot say that much.
Alright.
But yeah, so far it's been good.
Alright, and I would like to make you a few questions about your latest album, Eluveitie. And can you tell us which are the things you got inspired by to make this album, and how you worked, how you researched for everything to make it?
All right. Well, it's basically, inspired. What does that mean? But it's basically inspired by history itself. It's a concept album with a continuing story, and it basically tells the story of the Gaulish Wars. And yeah, that's basically it. So like the inspiration is like history itself. About their researching question, well, I mean there's not much of researching because there's not many sources where you can learn about the Gaulish Wars. But the thing is, we try to narrate the story of the Gaulish Wars from a Celtic point of view, which wasn't that easy because basically most of the things we know about the Gaulish Wars was written down by Romans. And of course, it's like the same always. Like if there's a story about the war and the story is written down by the winning party, it probably sounds a little different than it really was, you know. So there was a lot of questioning. There was a lot of like reading between the lines. And yeah, we just tried to create this viewpoint of like how it probably really could have been. Yeah. It was quite a lot of work actually, and with working intensely together with diverse scientists for that as well. You know, so like letting like newest scientific knowledges influence the whole thing.
And you told us about a Gaulish point of view. What do you think are the difference between the winner point of view? I think you're talking mainly about the Julius Caesar Gaulish War.
Yeah.
And the Gaulish point of view, which is the frame, which is the difference?
Well, okay, that's probably a little risky to say, but take like maybe Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
Ask, like back then, ask George Bush, and ask some Iraqi. You will get two different stories. And in the case of the Gaulish War, I mean, it's a long story. It was a long war. It lasted almost 10 years. But there was like certain parts within that war where the Bello Gallico reported kind of like, glorious victory of like, dangerous barbarian tribes and something like that. But if you look at it like, on a like very laid down point of view, you actually have to say, okay, it basically was kind of a genocide or something. So how glorious is that?
Who knows? Listen, I would like to make you a question about the style of Eluveitie and their music. I've seen on the website that Eluveitie call themselves the new wave of folk metal. So I would like to ask you, which is the frame and the difference between the new and the old way or the old stuff? What's new?
To be honest, that's maybe a little embarrassing, but to be honest, that was a joke.
All right.
I mean, we came up with that new wave of folk metal thing like many years ago. I think it was like 2006 when we released Spirit, and back then the whole folk metal, pagan metal, whatever thing was still a little bit new. And in the music press, there was like so many descriptions for that kind of music. Like people were writing about like Celtic metal and Viking metal and pagan metal and blah 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 blah. And we just thought, seriously, that's ridiculous. It's just music after all. So what the fuck, And how do you say, to like make fun of that a little bit, we just came up with even another new description of that music. So it was basically a joke, to be honest. But fair enough, like after like a year or two, like the press, for some weird reason I don't understand, they kind of adapted that term new wave of folk metal, and today like people are talking about, like, we were like, okay. Okay, well, in that case, that's what we are doing. But yeah, originally it was basically a joke, to be honest.
All right. Listen, talking about all those waves, folk metal, pagan metal, Viking metal. Do you consider yourself, or do you follow any particular pagan path?
Well, that's...
It's not too personal, of course.
Well, it is personal, but I think you would get like 8 different answers if you would like ask all of us. And well, if it comes to the band, Eluveitie is like 100% about music. I mean, and what we are doing lyrically is basically narration of history, and that's what it is. We are not like spreading any point of view or like messages or like religious kind of things or whatever. It's like music. Eluveitie is there because of the music and nothing else. And yeah, that's basically it. Also, like when I'm writing the lyrics, I'm really, I mean, personally, the whole Celtic culture means a lot to me personally, but I'm really separating that from the band. I mean, Celtic culture and everything, that's my personal life, and Eluveitie is Eluveitie. That's a complete different story. And when I'm writing lyrics, I'm always like keen to not, spread anything. I'm just narrating history, nothing else, because I don't want to preach at anything. I don't want to say like, Odin instead of Jesus and crap like that. Like, why would I say that? Because everybody has its own point of view, and everybody should have his own point of view. So there's no point in like, preaching any kind of whatever it is.
All right. Today is the 21st of March, and it's actually the equinox, spring equinox. Are you going to celebrate, or are you planning something special for tonight?
Not really, no.
No. All right. The thing I would like to ask you is basically, what are you planning to do after the Paganfest tour will be over?
Touring.
Yeah. Again?
Yeah.
Are you planning dates in festivals and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we just released the new album, and the touring cycle for Helvetius just started like 10 weeks ago or something like that, and it will keep us on the road for quite a while. I mean, we'll have like a touring break in summer, to play all the festivals and stuff. But after that, we'll start touring again, and well, the touring cycle is still being planned at the moment. But as far as it looks right now, the Helvetius tour will go on until summer 2013 or something like that. So that's pretty much we will do like during the next 50 months or something, being on tour.
Oh, that will be hard, I guess.
It's normal, I guess.
It's normal. All right. Listen, I would like to make you one question about the past. What exactly happened with the Kirder Bros? Why they left the band?
It was actually pretty much the same like for all the other ex-members. I mean, when I formed the band, like it's now 10 years ago, it was clear from the very beginning, okay, we're supposed to be like really working hard and working a lot to get forward as a band and to grow as a band. That was that was like the main thing about Eluveitie. Let's work and move forward. And so we were actually like growing quite constantly. Like every year there have been like more of everything, like more tours, more time in studio, more festivals, blah blah blah, more of everything. And so like every year, like always from time to time, like every band member actually had to ask him or herself, like, okay, can I still do that, And I mean, today Eluveitie is like it's all we do. I mean, we don't have like jobs beside it or anything. It's all we do. And yeah, that was basically the reason for all the ex-members that left. I mean, at some point, for example, our former hurdy-gurdy player, Sarah, well, she got married and had a kid, and yeah, it was like too much time to. She couldn't be away from home all fucking time, you know, because of her family and stuff. And Linda, our former fiddle player, it was same for her. She was still studying, or she actually just started like studies in art, and it was same for her. She couldn't be on tour all fucking time.
And it was the same for the kid abroad.
And he didn't want she didn't want to like quit studying for the band, so she kind of had to leave the band. And it was the same for the Kid Brothers, because I mean they both of them, they have quite how do you say, quite an organized life. I mean, both of them have like their good jobs with like very good salaries. They have their nice apartments, and at some points they actually were supposed to quit their jobs because we were touring all time, you know. And yeah, they didn't want to do that. They wanted to keep like their way of life, their jobs and everything. So they just had to quit the band, actually.
All right, and yeah, what else? All right, yeah, I think the last question I would like to ask you is about, do you have any particular message for Italian metal community or Italian pagan community, if you want? Look in the camera.
To be honest, not really.
All right.
Well, to me, it just remains to say thank you for the interest in Eluveitie, and enjoy yourself. But besides that, no.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.